Okay guys, sorry I couldn't be with you today, but we are going to continue our discussion from Friday on dividing with the standard algorithm for division. If you remember on Friday, we talked about this little saying, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers regularly, to help us remember the steps for the standard algorithm. So remember that the D means to divide, the M is multiply, then we're going to subtract. We're going to check to make sure our difference is smaller than our divisor. We're going to bring down the next number, and then we're going to repeat. You have a set of notes in front of you, so go ahead and pull those notes up. My papers aren't going to be the same, but they should be the same numbers. If they are not the same numbers, go ahead and change out the numbers on your sheet to match the ones that I'm doing in the video. So the first problem that you have on your sheet is 6,682 divided by 13. So over to the side here, I'm just going to write down that saying, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers regularly, to help us with those steps. So the first step is to divide. I'm looking here, and the 13 does not go into 6. I'm going to go ahead and put an X there. You can put a 0 there, you can leave it blank. I'm putting an X there just to hold that place so that I know nothing goes into the thousands. So then I have 13, and I'm going to look at this 66. And again, remember that the 66 isn't really 66, it's 66 hundreds. And that's going to go in 5 times. So that gets me 65. 5 times 13, 65. Subtract. So I divided, then I multiplied. Now I'm subtracting to get my 1. I'm checking to make sure that the 1 is smaller than the 13, and it is. So I can go ahead and bring down my next number. So 13 can go into 18 one time. There's my division. 1 times 13 is 13. There's my multiplication. Next, I subtract to get 5. And I'm going to bring down the 2. Oh, sorry, I should have checked up here to make sure the 5 was smaller than 13. And it is, so I can bring down the 2. 13 goes into 52 4 times. 4 times 10 is 40, and 4 times 3 is 12. And 40 and 12 is 52. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract. I get 0. I'm checking to make sure that the 13, or that the 0 is smaller than 13. And it is, so I can repeat. However, there's nothing left to bring down. So my answer, we're finished. And I also have a number above each one of our place values. So that works out. So my answer is 514. All right. On the next page, you have 4 problems. We're just going to do a couple of them. At any point in time, if you feel like you can move on your own, press pause in the video, do it by yourself, and then check your answer as I go through it. If you still need walked through the problem, then just walk through it with me. But as we go through them, as soon as you're feeling confident that you can do it by yourself, please do that. So the next problem you should have on your paper is 2,824 divided by 7. And I'm just going to use my does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers regularly from right here to move on. So again, we're going to divide first. So 7 doesn't go into 2, or we have 2,000s. We can't put it into 7 groups. And again, I'm just putting that X there to hold that place, making sure I don't put a number there. Helping to keep things lined up, make sure that our answer is correct in the end. So now I'm looking at the 28, and 7 can go into 28 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. There's my multiplying. Now I'm going to subtract. I get 0. I'm checking to make sure my difference is smaller than my divisor, and it is, so I can bring down that next number. 7 goes into 2. So I'm repeating. 7 goes into 2 0 times. And 0 times 7 is 0. So I subtract, get 2. Checking to make sure 2 is smaller than my divisor. It is. So I can bring down the 4. So then I'm going to repeat. 7 goes into 24 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. And then, so that was my multiplication. Now I'm subtracting to get 3. I'm checking to make sure that the difference is smaller than the divisor, and it is, so I can bring down my next number. Since there isn't a number to bring down, this becomes my remainder. So my answer is 403, remainder 3. And again, remember, we can always check by multiplying. All right, again, at any point in time that you're feeling confident, please do this on your own. Hit pause, and then when you're finished, you can unpause it and watch or walk through it with me. So here we have 7,020, and we are dividing it by 26. So 26 does not go into 7. So again, I'm putting that X there. 26 goes into 70 twice. And I'm going to multiply, giving me 52. I'm going to subtract, and I get 18. So 18 smaller than 26, so I'm going to go ahead and bring down this 2. And 26 goes into 182 7 times, which is exactly 182. So when I subtract, I get 0. It's smaller than 26, so I bring down this other 0. Now, it's easy to want your answer or to forget to put your 0 up here, but 26 doesn't go into this 0, and I still have to bring this down. So this actually is a 0. Okay, this is one of those examples that were partial quotients. You would have realized that right away. And with the standard algorithm, you have to remember that you should have a number above each of the place values in your dividend, unless it's the first 1 or 2. You can scoot it over, but you can't have one at the end that doesn't have a number above it. All right, so the answer to that one was 270. All right, so this one is 2,422, and we're dividing it by 34. So 34 doesn't go into 2. And then I look at the 24. It doesn't go into 24. So now I'm looking all the way at 242. And 34 can go into 242 7 times. And 7 times 4 is 28. And so I get 238 when I multiply that out. And when I subtract, I'm left with 4. 4 is smaller than 34, so I can bring down my 2. 34 goes into 42 1 time. When I multiply that, I'm going to subtract and get 8. There's nothing left to bring down, so 8 becomes my remainder. So my answer is 71 with a remainder of 8. All right, last problem quickly here. Let's have a open this up so we can get to the top. So this one is 845 divided by 9. Even if you've walked through each one with me at this time, I do want you to pause it and try this one on your own. 9 doesn't go into 8. I'm going to cross that off. And now I'm looking at 84. 9 goes into 84 9 times. So I subtract and get 3. I'm going to bring down my 5. 9 goes into 35 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. And there's nothing left to bring down, so my remainder is 8. Hopefully by walking through these problems with me, you are able to move on to your own. If not, you can ask the sub that's in the room today. But at this point, you should be able to continue your color by number using the standard algorithm. So your first 10 should have been partial quotients, and your second 10 are going to be the standard algorithm. Make sure that you fill in the boxes on the back with 2 being partial quotients, 2 being the standard algorithm. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.